There we go. Peace. It's Brother Tariq back with the A1 Podcast. It's been a little minute, you know what I'm saying? As you can see, we're doing a little upgrading. You know what I mean? Plus, I had some personal issues to attend to, you know what I mean? But it's been a lot going on since I've been away, you know what I mean? So, of course, you know, we got to get into it, you know what I mean? And like I say always, man, peace to the universe. And I hope that on this journey that we call life, that I find you in a great place. And hopefully when we're done, you'll be in a better place than when we found you, right? And, you know, we don't have all the answers, but on this journey, we're going to search together, you dig? So it's been a lot. It's been a lot going on since the last time I spoke to you guys. Obviously, the officer who killed George Floyd, his trial started recently, right? And there's been a lot going on with that. And most people, you know, including myself, you know, we're very pessimistic about it, right? We were thinking, and actually until he's convicted, most of us believe, you know, that he's probably going to walk. You know, he's probably going to get a slap on the wrist or whatever because, you know, they just don't lock up police, right? And it's been a lot going on surrounding that, let alone just in Minnesota, right? But first, I like to go ahead and, you know how I like to try to construct things and put things together so you can get a not just the picture, but the bigger picture, right? So, as I'm reading the newspaper like I always do, you know, I've noticed that there's been more shootings where somebody's actually been shooting at police, right? There's one officer who got shot and killed. This was in New Mexico. He got shot and killed by somebody who, you know, he might be a member of a cartel or a gang or something like that. But he got shot down during a traffic stop. Excuse me, knocking the camera. He got shot during a traffic stop, right, by an AR-15 assault rifle, right. And the whole situation, you know, unfortunately somebody lost their life, so, you know, it's never nothing to play with. But it's unfortunate, but it makes me look at it and take it, you know, take a step back and look at it and analyze the situation. First of all, obviously, this man, you know, even though he has a Latin name, he looks like he was from the Caucasus region, you know what I'm saying? We try not to do color here, because color is a class distinction. And I don't believe in that Western philosophy of class distinction. Not, you know, we're not playing by their rules over here. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, the man during the traffic stop, right? He looks like one of the, you know, people who has lineage from the Caucasus regions, right? And during any other traffic stop, you know, as I you know, discuss more as we get deeper into this, during most traffic stops, you know, most cops are on high alert. Well, I take that back. They're only on high alert when the person is heavily melanated, you know, i.e. an indigenous person, right? So this man walks over to this vehicle with his guard down and gets gunned down with like half a clip of an AR-15. And you know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, it's sad that somebody lost their life, but it's just ill how he approached this vehicle because of the person's complexion nonchalantly and gets killed. Then I read about a high-speed chase in Georgia yesterday where the assailants were firing at police, right? I don't remember if it was 2 or 3 officers hit, but of course one of the suspects was killed, right? But you know when they don't show the pictures of the perpetrators, you know they're from the region of Caucasus, right? You know what I mean? So it's just ironic that they always fear for their life when they're approaching us, right? But when they get shot, it's by somebody who looks like them. But they still can't put 2 and 2 together. Add to that, something very interesting I read not too long ago. This was reported by The Hill, right? In Michigan, a 74-year-old woman has filed a federal lawsuit against the county commissioner because during a Zoom meeting, right, she wanted the commission to denounce white supremacy hate groups like the Proud Boys. And one of the commissioners got upset that she would even say this and bring this up in their meeting and pointed a rifle at her on a Zoom meeting. You see what I'm saying? So most of these cats is really unhinged right now. You know what I'm saying? I read another article yesterday about how the biggest threat, which we've been known, was white nationalism, right? They feel somebody got them feeling that what's naturally theirs is being taken away, or that everybody else is having too many babies and they're scared they're going to be minority, right? But if you actually know your history, you already know that they're the minority. They've always been the minority, right? But the fact is they want to say that this corporation we call America is a Judeo-Christian country, right? But it was supposed to have been founded on the principle of freedom of religion, right? Notice how that went out the window when they decided that, they're going to be Christians and they're going to smite everybody else. Same thing that went out the window with the freedom of speech. You say anything that the powers that be don't like, they got a problem. They got to silence you. They got to shun you. Point that old finger at you because they know better, right? And this is just like it's all around you in everything that you do. You know what I mean? Whether it's sending your kids to school or how you can interact with your coworkers on the job. It's all in your news, it's in your shows. I'm talking about when major corporations are siding with political figures and trying to force the hand of the common everyday man and woman, right? Where it's like all these corporations were threatening to leave Georgia over the Voter Rights Act, right? First of all, there's a whole lot going on with that in itself. I don't see nothing wrong with you having an ID to vote, personally. I guess that makes me a Republican. I don't know. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm neither. But if you are supposedly an American citizen, right, which is funny in itself, why shouldn't you have an ID? Because you need an ID to cash a check. You need an ID to go in the store and buy alcohol. You need an ID to go ahead and buy tobacco. You need it to buy a firearm. You need it to do just about anything there is to do in this country. You need an ID. So if you want to vote, what's the problem with you needing an ID? And you can't tell me you can't afford an ID because them shits is like $6 to $15. Everybody comes across $6 and $15 on a regular basis. You know what I mean? But, I digress from that. We can go down that hole another day. But what I will not do is not let you go ahead and say, with that old fight that, the ancestors died for us for the right to vote. No, they died for us to have a better life. But at the same time, the mission was never accomplished because you don't have the right to vote. They vote on that shit every so many years. They got to vote on you being able to vote again in the next couple years. But you don't even get that because you turn on CNN, MSNBC, and whatever, Fox, or The Guardian, or whatever the fuck you watching, and you believe the same people that's oppressing you. They tell you that it's raining, but they pissing on you, right? So when you look at one of us, somebody, a melanated person who looks like you, i.e. an indigenous person, i.e. original Asiatic, right? You have a problem with what I say to you. But the problem is not what I say. The problem is you have to face reality, right? You are still not an equal citizen. You are not even technically a citizen. You are property of the state in which you reside in. But you can look that up. You know what I mean? And get back to me. Get in the comment section, look that up, and tell me what you think. Some of my more buddies will definitely like to cite law in the comment section or whatever. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of getting away from where I wanted to go. But that was something that's been burning me up for like a couple weeks. Like I said, I was a little indisposed, so I couldn't get up here and talk to y'all. Now, I'm doing the caucus news first. That's why it's on purpose. Now, Harvey Weinstein, right after Bill Cosby got caught up in all the sex scandals and shit like that, Harvey Weinstein was supposed to go down, you had all these big name actresses talking about the casting couch and all the sleazy things he did to them to make them, for them to get these parts, right? How come he's just now getting indicted in California? Remember, he was indicted within like 2 to 3 months in New York when all these allegations came out. But they're dragging it out. It's been like 2 years. Homie only goes into court to see if he's getting indicted or not. Excuse me. So they're going to keep dragging it out, and you're going to forget about it. Because, see, he ain't all over the front of the news like Bill Cosby was. And why was Bill Cosby all over the front page of the news? Whether you agree with him, believe he did it or didn't do it, the reason why he was all over the front page of that news is because he's a melanated man. And the melanated man always has to be the bottom of the barrel. We're always a savage, over sex craved individuals, as they've always painted us as. Like in that first movie, Birth of a Nation, right? All black men want to do is have sex with white women, and we can't get enough. We need so many women, this, that, and the third. But when the shoe was on the other foot, one of those funny hat wearing motherfuckers get caught with his hand in the cookie jar, you know, is dragged out. You know what I mean? We're supposed to look the other way, and basically what it is, you got such a short attention span that you're going to forget about them, right? Just like you're going to forget about Justine Maxwell and the worldwide human sex trafficking thing she's been doing with all the pedophiles around the world, right? The elite pedophiles. But that's another story, right? But the reason why I brought up Harvey Weinstein, one, because he was in the news today. Two, with the relation to Bill Cosby, because it's playing out again right now in front of us in real time. Deshaun Watson, I don't really cover sports up here, but Deshaun Watson wants a trade out of Houston, right? He's young, he's in his prime, and he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. We all know that the quarterback is the face of a franchise. We all know that Texas is notoriously racist. He wants out of a Texas organization because he feels it's racist, and he wants to go somewhere else where he can feel like he has a chance to win. Not a problem. But all of a sudden, he seeks a trade, and now all of a sudden he's been inappropriately groping all these masseuses, all these massage therapists, right, for 4 or 5 years. First of all, I don't care who you are or how much money you have, as evident with Bill Cosby. If you are a melanated man and a woman cries foul against you, you're going down. Point blank period. They're going to come, rough you up, take you downtown, you know what I'm saying, and see what's what. The fact that he hasn't been charged by the police formally is saying a lot, right? But that's not all, folks, because he got just as many women defending him as he got going against him, right? And at the same time, it only came out when he wanted to trade. So, the power of public perception is it's enormous, right? Because you can see that with Trump, right? When he came out, he was a billionaire, he's a businessman. Most of the white people in America voted for this man. The caucus people in America voted for him, right? But as things started going left, and the left media painted him to be such a terrible person, they started turning on him, right? That's the power of perception. So they used the power of perception for him, and then when it didn't suit them, they used the power of perception against him, right? So back to Deshaun Watson. The power of perception was that he was this, he's a gentleman. He's the guy that everybody wants their daughter to date. And then all of a sudden, now his good guy image has just been wrecked, right? So no matter if he gets away or gets convicted, his reputation is forever stained. But mind you, we're talking about him for some shit that he allegedly did what's the white guy's name? Wheeler? Something like that. Everybody forgot about him and how he made that sister get on her knees to worship him like a god and beat the hell out of her. He beat her to the point where he thought that she was dead, but we don't talk about that. You don't hear about that on the news. It's not in your newspaper. There were no charges pending against this cat. I think his name is Chad Wheeler, right? Big white boy. Big Caucasian, right? Viking looking motherfucker. But we don't talk about that. So I just wanted you to understand the power of perception. So they got the bully pulpit, they got your TV, and they got the news, they got your Twitter and all that. So they telling you what to think. Every day, they just flashing the image in front of you. So, and that's another thing. It's a war against being able to think freely. You know what I'm saying? Because most people can't think freely. Yeah, your opinions most of the time are shaped by the people, the company you keep, and by the media you watch. So everything you take in is shaping your personality. That's why they can, like I told you last time, it's a psyop. So by the programming that you watch, by the social media, the way you interact on social media, and the people that your phone is around, like, because when your phone is in the vicinity of somebody else for a long period of time, you know, that sends a signal to the people that be, right? So they know who you hang with all the time. So with that being said, right, they can predict what you're probably going to do next, right? Like, they could predict that I'm probably just going to talk some shit because I'm just going to go ahead and keep going to business, going to work and handling business. That's what my algorithm probably says about me. And 9 times out of 10, 95.999 times, they're right. I don't have time for the rest of the foolishness. But for the people who are on the same level like me, or like you, you know, because A alike, B alike, C alike, you know, this is a chance for us to talk and build a community, you know, where we can interact and exchange ideas, because we are under the you know, we are not under any illusions about what's going on, right? So let's get back to some of the current events, just so I can finish painting this picture, right? Now, as I was reading the newspaper today, they were talking about the White Lives Matter. I'm sorry, I thought I was done with the caucus news of the day. The White Lives Matter rally in Huntington Beach, California over the weekend, right? The illest part was it was reported by some reporter, right, that one of the dudes at the rally got mad because another dude, I think he was Latin or something, he was something, but he asked one of the caucus gentlemen, he said, "Why do you hate me so much?" So after dropping a whole bunch of profanity on this guy in front of a police officer and in front of cameras, he attempted to walk away. And so the dude was just like, "Yo, I just asked one question, why you hate me so much?" Dude turned around, hooked off on him a couple times, and then walked off. My man was never arrested, right? He was never... Damn, stank bug, excuse me. The door was open. Man. Anyway, can't be living by the woods, man. Leave the door open, all kind of shit come in. But still, yeah. So he hooks off on this guy, assaults another person in front of police officers, right? But nobody says anything. Police officers didn't arrest him. They just had a little conversation with him, right? Then there was another wanted dude there. He was some KKK Grand Dragon, right? Reports is that he's wanted for questioning because he knifed up 3 cats at another Klan rally somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Who he knifed up, nobody knows. But he's wanted for questioning, but he's walking around in front of police and all these people on tape, right? You know, and it just goes to show you the you know, you already know there's a double standard, you know what I mean? But to watch it play out in real time, it has to drive home that you have to do things differently. You can't just keep walking out here singing Kumbaya, hoping things will change. And when I say that, I don't mean you go out here like fools and grab a brick and throw it through a window, because that still solves nothing, right? You need economic practices, and you need to learn how not to throw your money down the toilet. You know what I mean? And most people will look at me like, well, he's talking that shit again. You know, but those are the same people I believe hide their head in the sand like an ostrich, right? But that's neither here nor there. So as you can see, there's a whole level of there's a whole different level that you're being treated with, and you keep thinking that oppression is over. It's not over. It's going on right in your face. And you know, like I said, they pissing on you, and you thinking it's raining because they keep telling you it's raining, but you're a fool because you believe everything that the person who's oppressing you was telling you. They have never done anything good for you, right? So you can't act like when they tell you something contrary to what a person like me, a human, a melanated person, tells you, it's not good for you, right? And again, like I said, you can't say that all of those people are like that because they're not. And I can't sit here and say that all melanated people are good intentioned because they're not. You feel what I'm saying? I'm talking to the masses of us that actually, really feel, this way deep down, right? And most of us don't have the words. They don't know how to put in the words. They don't know where to look for the answers, or, they just feel overwhelmed pretty much, right? So basically, I'm letting you know you're not alone. And there's a lot more of us than you think. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. So, that's just the white violence going on out here, right? There's mass shootings going on every day, right? These Caucasian people, since Trump got out, they just keep running and shooting up stuff. They're shooting up schools, shooting up jobs. They just shoot, right? And they're going to say we need more gun control laws, but we don't need more gun control laws. Because, see, the only reason that you enact the gun control law or gun safety laws is to stop melanated people from having them so that the Caucasian people can feel safe, right? But all they do is act like kids with temper tantrums. As soon as they don't get their way, they run into a building and start shooting up people. They don't care if they're shooting up little kids. They don't care if they're shooting up old women. They don't care. They don't even care if they're shooting a person that they matter. They just want to shoot something. They want to shoot a person, right? And then I guarantee you, every time they shoot somebody, don't you think they always make it to trial? Able-bodied with no holes in them, nothing. You know what I mean? Stopping by a damn Dairy Queen and getting a milkshake before they go to jail. Anyway, that brings me to my next point, right? So, over the weekend, there was another melanated brother killed in Minnesota, right? Now, mind you, Minnesota's already a hotbed because of what happened to George Floyd. But then it was hot. It got so hot when that happened because of what happened in Minnesota before to who? Philando Castile, right? So they have a crazy track record of of just murdering melanated brothers. Now the part is they started rioting already in Minnesota just because of that. Now the George Floyd trial ain't even over, right? This is to the point where one of the police officers, before the trial started, from Minnesota said he just quit. They said, why did you quit? He said, well, no matter what happens, I believe the city's going to get burnt down again, no matter if he goes to jail or he's acquitted. Somebody's not going to be happy and they're going to riot. He said, I don't want to die behind it. I'm like, that's, I ain't even going to say nothing about that. That says enough in itself, right? But this brother that got shot, I want to say his name is Deontay Wright. He got shot during a traffic stop because the police officer said he reached back in the car. From what I'm gathering, because they didn't really say the officer's name from what I've read so far, but it was a woman, and she was supposed to have been reaching for her taser and reached for her gun and shot him. If that ain't the most convenient excuse ever, right? Because they rallying, they rioting, tearing up the city again. But they're pretty much that town is, in that area, is just tired of getting watching brothers get killed. Especially when people who mass murderers, like the guy over here at the UNC Charlotte school, walked into the school and started shooting up people in the hall and was taken in alive, right? To where you have people with no guns getting shot down, but you fear for your life. So that's why I started saying what I said at the beginning. These cops are getting shot, but they're getting shot by Caucasian looking people. They're not getting shot by melanated people. So the logic that you're in fear for your life when you see a melanated person, it shit just don't add up. Because we've been trained since we were kids to comply with an officer when you see an officer, because they just might shoot you. But then that's exactly where the story I'm going to next. Yeah, you guessed it. Windsor, Virginia, where that two racist ass officers pulled that Army lieutenant out of his car, and pepper sprayed him for no reason, just because he wanted to. He was hyped up on a power trip. Yeah, he got fired, but that doesn't change the culture. Oh, well, we're making them, we're going to make them go through sensitivity training. Sensitivity training don't mean shit. They still going to do the same thing. You feel what I'm saying? Because somebody gave them a badge and a gun, and they have qualified immunity. So they're right until the very end. Derek Chauvin, he's only wrong because everybody's seen him. There was so many camera angles of the way he murdered that man, right? That's the only reason why everybody's upset with him. That's the only reason why all the police officers turned their back and fired him and all that. And he still probably won't get no time. But then, shout out to Black Dot and Urban X. Him and Marcus brought up a good point, right? Everybody forgets the fact that they had George Floyd and that officer had a relationship outside of that, where they used to work at the same bar and bounce for the same person, right? So, it was a little deeper than that, why that man wanted to kneel on his neck like that and all that wildness, right? But the point of the matter still is, Minnesota wants to defund their police, but yet the police are still out there killing unarmed indigenous Americans, you know what I'm saying, our indigenous brothers, Asiatic brothers and sisters, whatever. They're still out here killing them, right? Then you still got way across the country in Virginia, you got people in full military uniform, just finished the shift, getting pepper sprayed, getting talked to like he was a boy by an officer, by a cop. You know what I'm saying? And the funny part was, just like he was saying, he said, this is how you going to treat a person that's serving the country? He said, man, I don't care. You need to follow directions. So, yeah, he got fired. And, yeah, the governor and the mayor and all that, they want a full investigation. And the state police are going to investigate into it, whatever. What you think they're going to do? More sensitivity training. And we fired the one bad apple. It's not all cops. It's just a few bad apples. The problem is you got way too many bad apples and too few good cops. But that's another story, right? That's a whole nother story. Now, I was also reading about, what was it, in Maryland, right? I think I want to say. In Maryland, they said that they passed a law to repeal the police Bill of Rights. And so I'm reading it, you know what I'm saying, because I'm reading an article, and the article is about Black Enterprise, right? And I'm reading it because, it sounds good, you know what I'm saying? And when it come to us, they give a shit and it always sound good. Well, they said, this is the most progressive law for accountability when it comes to force in the nation. We're leading the nation. Yeah, you repealed their Bill of Rights, but you didn't remove their qualified immunity. And some of I forgot, it was a group about watchful mothers or something like that. One of the ladies, she got pissed off. She said, they still, are not holding police accountable. Yeah, they bringing them in front of the civilian board of review and all that, but they've been doing that, right? And so it's funny because I was actually watching another podcast, and they were talking about actually I think it might have been Urban X. They were talking about how the so-called Stop Asian Hate thing, right? And it's always perpetrated against us. But how fast Joe Biden and his administration moved to enact policy to protect them. Now, everybody gets up there and grandstand about us and how, it's bad how we're treated and how we get, we should be treated with more respect. And that's a person, that's somebody, father, son, whatever. But where's the policy at? You've been marching since the 60s, but where's the policy at? In a couple weeks, Asians already have policy in place to protect them from hate crimes. If you do something to an Asian person right now, it's a fucking hate crime. You do something to a homosexual or transgender person right now, it's a fucking hate crime. you can still legally lynch an indigenous person in this country. So what was all the marching about? What's all this holding hands and bowing our heads and praying we shall overcome? See, the problem is you're in a fight, but you don't know how to fight. The problem is your biggest tool is your biggest weakness. Too many of our people, as soon as we get $1, we spend $1 fast as we get it. You know how I go. Paid on Friday, broke on Monday. You feel what I'm saying? And you didn't use your dollar to help put yourself in a better position. So by this Monday, you ain't got to go back here and kiss no ass. Because most of us go to a job that we hate. Most of us hate the people that we work with. But we got to go there because we got to keep the lights on. Got to keep a roof over our head. We got to keep food in our stomach, right? You do what you got to do to make ends meet. But most of us hate what we do. And that even goes for, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. That even goes for most dope boys. Yeah, you watch TV, right? You watch MTV raps and all that bullshit. Most of them dudes hate what they do. You understand? I don't care if it was in the 70s, the 90s, 2Gs, or today. Most of them motherfuckers hate their job. They'll sit there in front of you in front like they like it, but they don't. You feel what I'm saying? So the point is, what are you doing to position yourself to be financially free? Most of us are not. Most of us are just ready to go somewhere, blow our money, and blow off some steam. And wonder why we keep ending up in the same situation generation after generation. Because as hard as it is for us to create generational wealth, we don't make it any easier on ourselves. It's a hard ways to get back to a Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we have another Greenwood district, or another Wilmington, North Carolina, another Philadelphia, another Harlem, another Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Because Atlanta ain't the same Atlanta. Wilmington ain't the same Wilmington. Philly damn sure ain't the same Philly. Neither is Harlem. You feel what I'm saying? And we keep talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, but come on, we already know the Tulsa University has a predominantly white enrollment. So that means predominantly white people live in that area. Right? I think we need to stop as a people. We know we're under attack. We need to stop sitting back wanting people to tell us it's all right and we're victims, man. We know we're the victims. We know we're the hunted. Your biggest weapon is that greenback in your pocket. How you choose to use it means everything. If this whole country, right, runs off of the $2 trillion or however much money we spend a year, all that matters is where we direct them dollars. So if you make a conscious effort to spend less over here and a little more over there, shit will change in the next 10 to 15 years without even really breaking a sweat. You feel what I'm saying? You can still do the same thing that you do every day. You know what I mean? But, it just takes a little effort. Instead of going to this store, I'm gonna go up 2 blocks and go to my man's store. You know what I mean? I'd rather spend some money with the brother, or, I need some soap, and instead of going to Family Dollar, I'm going to go over here to the sister because I know she make her soap from scratch. I know it's better for me, and 2, I'd rather, break bread with the sister, right? It's not too much of that attitude left. Everybody's looking for a deal, and everybody's looking to get over. When we do business with each other, we're always looking for the hookup. But when you do business with the other man, you'll pay whatever the hell they ask you. And look them in the face like, yeah, well, I mean, that's what he said it costs, so it has to be that, right? But when you're looking at one of your own, you want to second guess them, you question them, or her, about everything. And then instead of just taking the service or the product like you would with some non-melanated person, we go ahead and complain about the shit once we get it. Like, yo, my people, you're funny as hell. But at the same time, I don't think we ever going to be like most of these other groups because there's so many of us and we're so different. But at the same time, even if we just spend a little money with one of us, like, even if you only deal with your crew and your crew only deal with their crew, that still expands the circle, right? And that still keeps that money circulate within our community, because that's what's really hurting us. We don't have no money to spend and put into our local politics, and back the people that we think, are actually going to follow up on these policies. Because you can't just back them with votes. You got to back them with money. So if you spend money to back these candidates and these policies that will enact change in your community, you get what you want. Now you got a seat at the table. But just to keep talking about how we getting done, man, people keep kicking the dog, you know what I'm saying, when it's down. You feel me? You see people walk by a dog and kick it all the time. They ain't had shit else better to do but kick that dog. Well, why you kick it? Because it was right there. Fuck it. He in the way, I kicked him. You know what I'm saying? That's most people's reality. That's how they view shit. So understand, you are the dog in this scenario. When you turn on your TV, most of the time they're talking about you, but they'll put you as an animal in the story. I was just talking to my mother the other day. I was talking about Scooby-Doo. Did you know Scooby-Doo was supposed to be a black man, but they had him as a dog? But this nigga could talk and smoke weed and he had the munchies. But he's a dog. Straight plays you out. Most of the cartoons that you watch as a child or your children are watching, anytime there's a colorful person or a person of color, they're usually an animal or they some wild ass color. You know what I'm saying? They can't just be a melanated person with the nice golden brown or chocolate brown, or you know what I'm saying? They can't have our regular complexions. That's too much. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I can go on and on and on about this, man. You know what I mean? But it's just like, it was something that I had to get back on here. You know, let y'all know that I wasn't going. You know, I have a lot. You know, I'm a busy cat, man. You know what I mean? You gotta have more than one hustle, baby. You know, you gotta be able to bounce from one thing to the next. Cause if they stop that how do you say it? They stop that stream of revenue over there, what you gonna do? You gonna get a bed, sit on the curb and say voila, it's over, or you gonna find something else to bounce to? You feel me? So I don't know where you from, but I'm from a different generation. You know what I mean? You just get up and go. So we get up and keep going to the money. You know what I mean? Because in the end, that's how we gonna be able to do what we want to do. Money is freedom. So I believe that most of us can feel that we're oppressed, but we just can't put it into words, right? When you have enough money to do what you want to do, and I don't mean like being a rapper, because most of rappers aren't free. Most entertainers aren't free. They're still slaves to $1, right? Just a larger amount, because now they got to play a part, to play a position, to play this character that they created. I'm talking about financially free, right? Where your money is not tied to nobody else, where you become your own entrepreneur and your money, you know, you've created a stream of revenue for yourself. Once you be able to create your own stream of revenue, I don't care what you do. You show kids how to paint on YouTube or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's a stream of revenue. So once you create your own stream of revenue and it starts to become to a point where you can live off that stream of revenue without working a 9 to 5, you have now became financially free. And that is the hardest thing to do. But it's a lot easier when we working together, because it's a lot more of us. And it's a lot more of us seeing the same way. And before I let you go, I'd be remiss not to talk about, you know, these vaccines and the vaccine passports, right? I know we're not supposed to really talk about it, but the fact of the matter is, you know, I said, you do what you want to do because you're grown. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you and your family need it, you know, do what you got to do, man. Can't nobody tell you what you need or what your family needs, right? But I say this, just like I said then, I'm going to say it again now. Be careful, because they just put it out. You know what I mean? It's a trial. And what they're not telling you on the news is that a lot of people are dying from taking this. You feel what I'm saying? And it's not just one. It's all of them having bad reactions. I mean, in 3 different states, they just shut down Johnson & Johnson test vaccination centers or whatever. And the other ones, you know, they've been banned in other countries. And as you know, we pay attention to this wilderness called North America, but you need to pay attention worldwide, because tensions is popping off all over the place. That's why you can't find a lot of your favorite items in the stores, right? They just had the Suez Canal blocked off for a reason, just to show you they could shut down shit, right? And make it look like an accident. But at the same time, you got Iran beefing with Israel right now. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Russia looking like they really getting ready to go take over Ukraine again. Crimea, take parts of Ukraine like Crimea and other places, right? They got their troops out there. Then you got China looking like they about to go ahead and just take Taiwan over. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit going on. And at the end of the day, the cause and effect indirectly trickles down to you. You feel what I'm saying? So, be aware of all this. You know what I mean? Because all of a sudden now you might need some food or some shit, and now it's a shortage. They can create that food shortage for you. So again, I know I kind of moved around all over the place a little bit. I just had a lot on my mind. It's been a little minute. But I'm going to lead you in the way I came in peace, right? And I hope that, I shed a light on a few things. I hope that I sparked some thoughts on a few things. And I hope that you'll continue to grow with me on this journey called life. You feel me? And always hit the like button, always share, you know what I mean? Because we want this community to grow. And, get in the comment section, man. Hit me up. Let me know if y'all got some questions, man. We need to build, man. We need to keep going. We need to expand this thing. I can't be the only one out here spitballing for y'all. Know what I mean? Just dropping mine. Know what I mean? I need to feed off y'all like y'all feed off me. You feel me? But always, peace and love.